Mario! But our princess is in another castle. That was Toad. The world's first troll. It's time we evened up the odds in our favor. Woohoo! It's me, Mario! What is up, button mashers, min-maxers, speedrunners, and rage quitters? I am Bibo. Welcome to the best new video game show around, Unblockable. Video games are a great way for family and friends to bond, and one of the best types of video games to facilitate friendly but competitive play is racing games. Anyone can understand a race. Whoever crosses the finish line first is the winner and gets bragging rights for the next 5 minutes or so. Kart racing games take things up a notch by adding a combat mechanic, whether that be by bumping your opponents off the track or by collecting power-ups that let you stunt everyone else's progress while you get ahead yourself. Ain't that what life is? The kart racing genre as we know it today was pioneered by Super Mario Kart for the SNES in 1992, starring Nintendo's world-famous Italian plumber. Not to be outdone, 7 years later, the Sony PlayStation released their own kart racer, starring their own more platforming-inclined console mascot at the time, Crash Bandicoot, called Crash Team Racing, contributing to gaming's long and colorful history with racing offshoots. Basically, oh, you like that game? Here's a racing version of that game. Both have proven to be enduring standouts in the genre, as the latest Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, is the fastest-selling Mario Kart in history, while last year's Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled, a remaster of the original, is the best-selling Crash Bandicoot game, period. Turns out the sales strategy of racing version, buy it, works out pretty well. Okay, so Crash Team Racing and Mario Kart. Two kart racing games that are very popular. Crash Team Racing sort of experiencing a resurgence with the new Crash Bandicoot main title coming out and a new Crash Team Racing coming out in the past couple years. And Mario Kart, of course, always a staple of the kart racing genre, pretty much the granddaddy of them all. I don't know if anything came before it, but if you ask anyone about kart racing, the first thing they will come up with is Mario Kart. And here to help me talk about these two titles through a lens that we'll get to later on, are back from our episode on Red Dead Redemption 2 and GTA 5 are my two special guests. First off, she's a model, cosplayer, English teacher, and a game content creator. Please welcome back Sillykonpeito.
Hey, what's up?
What is up? Hi, SK. I want to ask you something different today. What made you decide you wanted to create content for games?
Okay, what made me decide to create content for games was like, I realized that I'm already doing cosplay of game characters and stuff like that, so why not take it up a notch and create a video?
Nice. And then that's always where it comes from, right? It's from that love, from that desire to share, and I guess you're just the kind of person who wants to like share your passion for something with the world. Even though, like you mentioned, like we're similar, like you tend to sort of veer towards the single player experiences that are more for like introverted types, like the two of us. But at the same time, sharing that experience, I guess, gives you some sort of fulfillment, right? Okay, thank you so much for joining us again, SK. You're gonna talk about Crash Team Racing today, right?
Yep.
Okay. Did you play any of the main Crash Bandicoot games?
I think I did, but I can't recall anymore because it was way back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
PlayStation
so hard.
1 days.
Yeah, it's so hard to recall some games that you've played before, but you
I
do
know.
but you do recognize the main characters at the very least.
Yep. I've been it's funny you mentioned that, like games that you played a long time ago, and even though you spent hours and hours on it, you barely recall much or any of it at all. Like I've sort of recently been on a Metal Gear like reacquainting myself with mode, because like I played the first one and the second one back in the day, but I can't remember anything. So I think I might delve back into Metal Gear soon. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. Can't wait to talk about Crash Team Racing with you and our other guest back from our episode where he talked about GTA 5. He is an artist illustrator. He usually does pieces centered around pop culture. He's usually at conventions. You used to see him at conventions, but these days we know that's difficult. These days he is also a content creator. He live streams, let's plays of video games, usually multiplayer games with his buddies. I know he plays Grand Theft Auto Online where he likes to blow stuff up. But here, back again, is Gerry Abantas, aka Sketchy Gerry. What is up, my brother?
Hey, what is up? Hey guys. Hope you guys are having a great day. We're gonna have great content today.
Yes, sir. Oh, I wanted to ask you because you're an artist, you're an illustrator. I'm one as well. I want to know, man. I'm pretty sure you're into comics as well. Give me like 3 of your favorite comic book artists.
Oh, comic book artist. No, wala ko dyan. Other
is it
question.
Oh, really? Okay,
I,
okay,
I,
okay.
I'm into stuff like that, pero
Uh-huh.
names I'm really
Oh,
bad at
names.
names.
Well,
I
okay,
don't
fine
even know
then.
other fellow artists.
When it comes,
Sorry.
what are your main like influences then when it comes to your art style or
So art style. Okay.
yeah.
The stuff that got me into art or gaming in general are of course animes. I love watching the animations of certain animes na yung talagang yung movement and the art style and of course games in general. The thing that got me into actually in conventions is making designs of game characters mostly.
Oh, okay.
Even now, it's like 50, more than 50% of my artworks are revolving around games. And then just
Mm.
second is the anime and then the shows like Marvel and DC and Lord of the Rings, yung ganun. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, mostly Star Wars. I love Star Wars.
You
I
like
make a
Star Wars.
lot of
Okay.
Star Wars designs. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Sketchy Gerry, for coming back here today to talk about Mario Kart, which is like the granddaddy of the kart racing genre. Do you play a lot of Mario Kart? What's your experience with Mario Kart?
Yeah, I play a lot of Mario Kart in multiplayer, couch multiplayer with friends and family. Um,
Nice.
Basically, it's just the best chill game if you want to play with people who don't actually play games that much,
Mm,
because
right.
it's really friendly to like pick up and play. I mean, anyone
Mm.
can play it.
Right.
Old
You know what?
people, young people.
Yeah. One of my like proudest memories for my trip to Japan was playing Mario Kart in like some dingy, crummy arcade in the red light district of Shinjuku. So it's definitely one of those things that you can just jump into and enjoy for just for kicks. We're gonna switch the episode up a little bit today, because we've all been there, right? When we're at our reunions, all our titos and titas are there, be it Noche Buena or some other family gathering, and you have the grown-ups talking business on the side, whatever. The older kids maybe on their phones in another corner, and then like another group of kids in a corner playing a video game on a console. And usually that's something like maybe Super Smash Brothers or something. Back in the Wii, that was a big selling point of the Wii when it first came out. It was for like a group of people to just enjoy and pick up. A silly dumb golfing game is suddenly interesting because you actually have to swing the controller and things like that. So we've all been in that setting where the family is in a reunion or a gathering, and then there's a group of people playing a game on a console on the side. And what'll happen sometimes is your tita or your tita will wander into your play area with maybe a glass of wine in their hand or something. Ay, ano yan? Pasubok nga, ganyan, ganyan. So for today, I want you guys to pitch your respective kart racing games to me, your drunk tito, at the family reunion. Okay? They're kind of similar, right? A card game is a card game. You race and then you pick power ups, and then you use those power ups to try and win the race. And everyone can understand the race. You all start from the same point and you try to be the first person to cross the finish line, right? So let's try to figure out which game between these two is good for like that kind of setting when you're you're trying to explain to Tito Brian the controls when he doesn't want to listen to you, diba?
Mm.
So yeah, so let's start with Jerry. Let's start with Jerry. What how will you pitch Mario Kart to me, your drunk Tito at the reunion?
Mario Kart is a racing game, and here's the stick for directional, and then here's this button for acceleration. That's it. Play it. Have fun.
Mm. Okay. So your drunk Tito is all set to go. All right, SK, pitch it to your drunk Tito. Crash Team Racing. Bakit ano tong Crash Team Racing? Ang alam ko Mario Kart. Ano tong Crash Team Racing? Bakit may aso na nakasakay sa go-kart?
So it's not a dog.
Your drunk Tito thinks he's a dog. He doesn't
Okay.
know what a bandicoot is.
Okay, so for Crash Team Racing, it's a bit more, I guess in a sense a bit more easier to understand when it comes to the controls, because if you're familiar with the PlayStation controls, so the circle, the X, and the triangle, etc.
Damn.
It's easier to understand because all you have to do is to just press those buttons. There's no other special buttons out there. You also don't need to do like other things on the controller. Just press those buttons and maybe even just play with the joystick, have fun, and it's very accessible as well since it's on the PS.
Right. Okay. So SK is going with her drunk Tito probably had a PlayStation 1 back in the day when he was a young strapping lad and he knows what the buttons are. Advantage Crash Team Racing for in your
Shit,
family reunion.
tinatamaan ako sa Tito comments na back in the day, me
Wow,
PlayStation
grabe
1.
naman.
Damn.
All right, so thank you so much for indulging me with that. So basically, that's it, right? It's about which racing title would be more accessible to someone who might not be into games, who probably has never held a controller or hasn't held a controller in a decade or so. Um, what else? What else is great about these two titles? Because Mario Kart, I know Nintendo likes to innovate a lot with their consoles and their and their play mechanics, right? I saw
Hardware.
there's this what is that, Nintendo
Yeah.
Labo, where you have to build stuff, and I actually love that stuff. I when it, if it I love like novelty shops. I love anything that's kitschy, that's weird, that's off kilter, and I love. If I weren't such a, I'll be honest, I'm a bit of a graphics WHORE. Um,
Yeah.
uh, if I
Aren't
weren't
we all?
so, yeah, if I wasn't so into that and like the AAA experience, God of War and all these majestic titles, I would probably invest a bit more in Nintendo also, because I love like when they try to innovate. It's just that there are just times that I can't be bothered. But what I'm trying to get to is Mario Kart has a new thing called Live, right, where they use augmented reality to play a racing game. So do you feel like, Jerry? Do you feel like Mario Kart can sort of be a bit inaccessible in that Nintendo just tries a lot to do a lot of stuff? Mario Kart has been such a staple, but with the evolution of Nintendo's direction, as parang we want to keep innovating, we want to keep changing what it means to play a video game. Do you feel like that makes Mario Kart maybe less accessible than it used to be?
Here's the thing with Nintendo. They like innovation, right?
Mm.
That's much is true. And with innovation, it's kind of alienating to hardcore gamers because hardcore gamers really tends to not like changes in their controls. That's why that's
Mm.
why PlayStation and Xbox controllers are quite similar, to be quite frank. And just the button names are different, right? But
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo tends to change all that, coming in the Wii and then the Wii U, which is crazy. And then they made the Switch. Switch is actually a great innovation coming from all that, amidst all the negative impact to fans when it was only just introduced. Like mostly gamers are like that. They tend to be like salty about new things,
Right.
even before they come out. But when it came out, it's actually good. It's the hardware is decent. Aside from some what do you call this, drifting on the joystick, they tend to like be more attractive to casuals, to just people who want to have fun. Mostly, they have RPG games on their consoles, JRPGs. So hindi talaga hardcore gamers like competitive or anything. And another target for them are family gamers, just
Right.
people who want to have fun, short burst of gaming, not for long time gaming. Sobrang apparent yan sa Switch. Because who would game for a long time on a freaking handheld, di ba? It
Mm.
would hurt your hand, hurt your eyes, and even your back, your neck,
Mm.
everything. Talagang they designed it on the go na you can play anytime with friends, and then ang pinaka-target niya is you could just remove the two sides of the Switch and it becomes two
The
controllers.
controllers, right.
Yeah, you
Mm,
can play
yeah.
with another friend agad anywhere. Wala man lang siyang dalang kahit anong hardware.
Mm.
What other console can do that? What other machine can do that? Wala. So basically, they just want people to actually just play games together.
So contrary to my I don't know, to my sort of initial reaction to the innovation, it's actually innovation with convenience in mind, or like accessibility in mind.
Not just having fun with the game, but actually having fun while controlling and playing the game.
Right,
Parang
right.
twofolds yung fun, 'di ba? Like you
Mm.
said nga earlier with coming in from the Wii, yung mga Wii Sports, 'di ba? Yung mga ganon. Ha, naisip mo bang na magiging fun yung shooting hoops and shooting tennis ganon at home
Right.
na magagawa mo in your living room with other people next to you, 'di ba? You just need this and then feeling mo you're actually out there na
Yeah.
playing basketball or tennis.
That's right. That's right. Oh, and just what you with going off of what you mentioned with split screens in racing games, I'm a huge proponent of 3D technology. I know a lot of people don't like it. If a movie comes out in 3D, I have to see it in 3D. One great feature of Gran Turismo, another racing game
Mm.
on, I don't know if the latest version has it, but I'm sure a version on the PS3 had it, is that there are no split screens, but if you have a 3D capable TV, you can fire it up, and then if two players are playing, they both have glasses on, and they see their own screen on the same screen, because that's how active 3D works. It's you can isolate images. So
Mhm.
because the glasses are a filter, they're both looking at the same screen, but they see a different their
Yeah,
own
different
screen.
frame. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, and I wish.
Technology.
Yeah, I know, right? I wish. I haven't actually tried it, but I really want to. I wish games sort of looked more into that type of technology. Okay, so there you go with Mario Kart. There's a couple pluses when it comes to pitching it to your drunk tito. Like we said earlier, baka matuwa lang siya that you can just hand him this pink or blue controller, and like, okay, sige. So parang it's something you can just do,
Yeah,
right?
and you have
But
fun either you win or you lose, you're still having fun.
yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't
Okay,
really
and
matter.
what was that term you we spoken before? Because like when because I experienced it when playing cart games on in arcades, right? Like the players get like this boost at the end just so they can. I don't know what's it called. There's a term.
The mechanic of rubber banding comes from like when a certain player is leading by far, and then it creates an artificial boost um, for the people behind him. So the game or the challenge will be much closer than it actually is. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of narrows the skill gap between two players.
Right.
So even the older brother playing with the younger sister doesn't really parang hindi mo feel na oh my God, wala akong pag-asang manalo against my older brother because he's a boy, he's older, he's much more into games. Pero hindi. Even any person, young or old, has a chance to win or at least to have fun while having that parang yung thrill na you're so close to each other. Always parang neck and neck. Never really
Right.
feeling na pag like when playing Gran Turismo, you're like
Yeah.
lapping around your opponents. I mean, who's gonna have fun with that, di ba? Kahit gaano ka fun yung racing aspect, na pag feeling mo, the gap is so big, you just wanna stop. You just,
Right, right.
restart game, parang ganun na lang lagi, di ba?
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's it for Mario Kart. Crash Team Racing this time. These two games are similar more than in them both being kart racers. Is that in that they both feature sort of like the mascots of a particular generation of consoles. Crash Bandicoot isn't a PlayStation exclusive anymore, but he sort of used to be a PlayStation mascot, right? So they're both like the banner characters of the particular consoles that they were on or companies that they were affiliated with and put into a kart racing game. SK, does that hurt or is it a benefit to the accessibility of CTR being centered around Crash Bandicoot, who, let's admit, maybe isn't as popular or eponymous a character as Mario? Everyone knows who Mario is, right? He's kind of like the video game protagonist. But CTR, what does it have going for it if it doesn't have that brand recognition of Mario?
Okay, for Crash Team Racing, you still have Crash Bandicoot, who is, well, he's still a well-loved character, especially for those who started with all of the Crash Bandicoot games. There's this bit of a nostalgia factor to this character. So if Mario is like everyone knows Mario, this one is like, oh yeah, remember the time when we used to play, etc., etc. So if
Yeah.
I'm pitching this to my like drunk uncle, like, Tito, remember the time when we used to play Crash Bandicoot together? Maybe we can play it again, but here it's a different type of game, it's a racing game, etc. Yeah. So there's always this element of nostalgia whenever people see the character of Crash Bandicoot. And as a special addition to Crash Team Racing, you have Spyro the Dragon also included in the game.
He's in the
So
game?
yeah, he's a
I
guest
love
character.
Spyro.
He's a guest character in the game. So it
That's
also,
awesome.
yeah, it also connects to a lot of people. So again, there's this huge nostalgia factor with when it comes to Crash Team Racing that appeals to people. I guess people who played Crash Bandicoot before, and at the same time people who wanted to reconnect with the things that they weren't able to play with before. Because let's face it, not everyone was also able to play Crash Bandicoot before, right? But they're familiar with Crash Bandicoot. So this makes it accessible for everyone who actually do know Crash and Spyro, and for those who don't know Crash and Spyro, and this is a chance for them to get to know those characters, especially since Crash Team Racing also has like a storyline mode.
Like we mentioned, like Jerry mentioned that the Nintendo market is like really specific. It's kind of there are gamers who are just Nintendo gamers, right? They won't play any other console or whatever. With how popular the PS4 was for Sony, right? If when we put ourselves in that setting that I described earlier, when you're at your Noche Buena and then it's a family reunion, the console that is in that corner, chances are it is a PlayStation 4, right? More than any other console at this stage, at least for this generation,
For
diba?
this gen, yeah, for this gen.
Yeah, diba?
And PlayStation 2 generation, for that matter, which
Yep,
is the most popular console of all time, di ba?
Yeah.
exactly, definitely.
So Crash
And
Bandicoot, di ba?
yeah, and honestly, it's I don't know if we're talking about locally, especially. I remember talking in when I was like when you're in school, diba? Parang like it's back in the PlayStation days. Everyone was talking about PlayStation games, and you had that one kid in your class who had an N64, and parang,
Yeah,
diba?
it's like you
Of
can
that
download
kid.
anyone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Playing
parang,
Superman
oh,
64.
exactly.
The
Oh,
worst game
Perfect
ever
Dark.
made.
What are you talking about?
Oh, Perfect Dark is actually good.
Yeah, yeah. So or GoldenEye, diba? So
GoldenEye.
it was also a big thing that Nintendo's games, the games for the Nintendo console, Nintendo took great pains to make sure that their copies of their games couldn't be pirated. And I think locally that was something that made the PlayStation so much more popular because
Yes,
you
yes,
could get
yes.
games for much cheaper, and it was much it's
Internationally,
much more
actually,
accessible.
piracy on
Yeah.
the
Oh
PlayStation
well,
is rampant. Yeah.
well, there you go. I don't think it's as prevalent these days, at least in terms of physical media, which I don't know. I really am the Tito because I don't want to let go of my
Same
physical
here, man.
disc-based
Same here.
media. I see it. I
Same.
see it behind you, man. There's a whole blue row of disc cases behind
Yes.
you, so I can tell I can tell that you're not Mr. I'll just buy a PSN card and buy my games. There's something about getting it and cover art and things like that. So
Smelling the thing. When
exactly.
you
So
open it, oh
And
my god,
opening
paper.
it, unboxing the
Paper.
thing.
Yeah. It's
right,
like drugs
exactly.
for gamers. Oh my god. Tama ba
Whenever
yan?
okay,
Ba yan sa
that's
kiddie?
fine. I'm sure I mean, I'm sure you guys go to Data Blitz a lot and buy games, diba? You know how
Yeah.
they
Sometimes you
for
just
the
smell the thing. The joke
like,
lang.
yeah, you know, yeah. If you see Sketchy Gerry at your local Data Blitz just sniffing cartridges on the side, don't be surprised.
Yeah.
But you know, it's just something we don't want to share. You know how for the warranty they have you look at the disc, make sure it's spotless before you claim. Every time they ask me, of course I say yes just to be sure. But like every time I'm like, but I want to be the one to open it first.
Actually, ako talaga pinapagalitan ko sila. Don't, stop. Don't, don't open that.
It's that
I want the
moment to like
pleasure.
open.
I want to sit down, take it out from the bag, and freaking rip the thing out, and then, and then
Well,
throw
yeah,
it.
so, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
so
but
we're
the
off on
game.
this whole tangent about video games, but I feel like both games sort of, both directions, because like, with CTR, like, okay, sige, Crash isn't as popular a character, but we're in the Philippines, so PlayStation, diba? So,
Yes,
and
yes.
your
The
Tito will
unit
probably
is more
have,
popular.
yeah, and your Tito will probably have owned the PS1 back in the day, so like, he'll know Crash, and maybe it'll be easier to get him into a game of Crash Team Racing. Mario Kart is Mario Kart, right? Everyone knows
It's
Mario,
Mario.
still.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it's Mario. So
People
so
haven't
there.
played games, no Mario, diba?
Yeah.
Exactly. So parang I don't know which has an edge, but I guess
Accessibility na lang.
yeah,
On
access,
which
yeah,
console?
Accessibility.
exactly, yeah. It comes down to that really, and I want to get your perspective on that. Actually, let's go on another tangent. How do you feel about where because there's a new generation coming out right later this year? I don't know what Nintendo has planned, has in store. Maybe you guys can inform me, but like, what's it gonna be like? Because this generation is gonna be a little different in that the jump, at least graphically, won't be as apparent. So people are saying, right? It'll have to do more with like shaders and like lighting and things like that. But ako kasi something that I just wish would take that leap is like polygon counts in a game, because when you see something that's like a smooth surface, but then you zoom in and then you see the lines, it's like, okay, I'm playing a video game. How do you feel about that? Crash Team Racing is more of a next gen. The new Crash Team Racing is more of a next gen center directed title, right? As opposed to Mario, which is like Jerry mentioned, Nintendo is content with their not as up to date graphics, just riding on the legacy of its characters and its franchises alone. What do you predict for ganun na lang? What do you predict for console gaming in general through the lens of like a kart game, diba? In that Crash Team Racing and Sony and Microsoft, which the title is on, are ready to sort of really go all in on with just hardware, more technology, better graphics, ganyan. And then Mario Kart is, it's Mario Kart. It's always gonna be Mario Kart, except here and there, maybe you'll be able to drive Mario along the floor of your living room with Mario Kart Live, right? So what do you guys think?
For Crash Team Racing, I think it's more of like stepping up their graphics game, because the previous versions of Crash is uh, a very old school graphics, right? And a
Mm.
lot of the next gen kids don't really like those kinds of graphics anymore. Like for us, for our generation, we're still fine with it because we
Yeah.
find like a nostalgic comfort towards those kinds of graphics, right? Even like the old version of Tomb Raider, we still feel a connection to it despite it being like super spritey and like very rugged in terms of graphics.
Nakakahilo.
Yeah. Yeah, diba?
At times, pero you still wanna play it,
You still
diba?
want to play it. But
Yeah.
the next generation, when they see that, like, ew, why are you playing that? I think it's more of making it more appealing to the kids or to the next gen. Especially since we're talking about games that you can play with the family, right? So it has to have this timeless look wherein kids and older generation can still appreciate it. So that's, I think, what Crash Team should Racing should improve on more, and I think that's also what they're trying to do, because for the latest version of Crash Team, I think it was Crash Team Racing Nitro, they made it more 3D, more smoother, much more, I guess, kid friendly when it comes to the graphics, because some of the characters in Crash Team Racing is actually the villains, or like some of them are like not that well known, so they,
Mm.
in a sense, they tried to make it up to the players by making it much more kid friendly in terms of graphics.
Right. And I just thought of this too. Like in terms of the power ups that you get in a kart racing game, then it's like the developers have to make a decision whether trying to get, because you in a kart game you get a power up by running over like a box or whatever, right? Um, will trying to get particular ones benefit you and have you win the race, or will any power up that you get be a benefit to you no matter what? So that goes into that accessibility or expertise directed type of game experience, diba? I'm curious as to whether it's like that for Crash Team Racing. Like, can you just get any power up and will it help you, or will the person who knows to get power ups A, B, and D have so much of an advantage over someone who hasn't played it before, diba?
For Crash Team Racing, you do get a lot of power ups as well. Like same as Mario Kart, but the difference here is that you have power ups and you also have, I guess, defensive items. So some
Mm.
items like invisibility makes your character and your go-kart's body invisible and makes it impossible to be tracked by weapons. So if someone throws you like a cannonball, you can like just use invisibility and then it won't hit you. And then they also have like the Aku Aku or the Uka Uka, which gives you acceleration shield and confuses the enemy. So it there are several ways wherein you can defend yourself from another power up. So it's not like when someone gets like three power ups and then you're going to just lose from that person immediately. No, you have a fighting chance. So that's what's great about it. You have a fighting chance.
That's a thing with game design, right? Because like I remember, so I don't know if you guys do, but I play a lot of board games. Well, I used to back when before this pandemic, but um, something that whenever, because if you buy a board game, you'll usually you obviously be the host, right? And you invite your friends over, you guys play the game, and I personally never want to win as the host, because clearly I know so much more about the game than my friends do. I was even the one who taught them the rules. Ganyan, malay ba nila if I left something out so I could get an advantage over them while playing, right? And I feel like that's, I don't know, maybe the
Or give a
different,
handicap para merong mas challenge, right? For everyone to have
exactly,
fun,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So I don't know, maybe Crash Team Racing doesn't regard the accessibility as much as Mario Kart. Do they have that sort of learning curve when it comes to the power ups? Because that's always a key thing with
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
kart racers, right? And And I can imagine it can be frustrating if like someone invites you and then they kick your butt because they
Mm-hmm.
know how to save a certain power up for a certain part of the
Yeah.
race or things like that. Do you feel like the current crop of Mario Kart titles have that um, uh,
Actually,
potential?
yeah, yeah. Mario Kart has the easier learning curve between the two games. Actually, CTR has finer, more requires more control, more skill to control to be good at it. In Mario Kart, even if you like fall off the cliff, fall off, go in the grass, like I said, there's this rubber banding that's gonna keep pulling you towards to the person who's in first place, right? But
Mm,
aside from that, the power ups are always fun to use, and basically sometimes to its own detriment na nagiging flip of a coin yung kung sino yung mananalo because there's always a chance na oh my god you're leading so far and then the guy on the last place got this the spiny or the blue shell and then it just blows you right out of the track and then everyone's
mm,
gonna pass you but yeah, so basically, even if you are really good at this, even you're the best at it, meron pa ring chance na manalo yung the most crappiest player, or at least not lose to you. Kasi sometimes it's not about winning, it's about preventing someone from winning. Kasi sometimes it's more fun that way. Have you guys played Fall Guys? Another
no, I haven't,
example.
but I
Yeah,
want to.
pero
I
di ba,
want to
it's a
though.
popular game right now.
Yeah.
Gusto ko lang i-compare between the two. Because in Fall Guys, you can win. You can go for the gold. But sometimes it's more fun to just bully other players for
Yeah,
I've seen
there.
them
that.
to get
Yeah.
eliminated.
Yeah, there
Di
was
ba?
this one time on my stream while I was playing Fall Guys. Someone kept on pulling me away from like
That might
the
be me.
yeah. And then
Pero
someone bumped me. I was so close to finishing, and like I almost made it to the because it was already 46 out of 47 people. I was so close to the finishing line, and then someone decided to just bump me. So I'm like,
yeah, yeah.
oh,
See,
oh
may
well.
mga tao na they just want to see the world burn.
Yep.
They
Ah.
want to be this
Video
They want to
bitter
games
watch the
guy.
world burn.
can
'Di ba? Na
truly bring
parang
the best and the worst out of
yeah,
people.
yeah. Pero in Mario Kart, that's also a good thing na
Mm,
parang alam mo yun, it's just have fun. Who cares who wins or loses? Pero
mm.
it's about stopping them from winning. Yun yung mas masaya. Use power-ups, use that. Pero on the other hand, meron pa rin, maskin, okay, yung learning curve is easier maskin ganito lang yung curve niya, it's very subtle. Mataas pa rin yung skill ceiling with Mario Kart because it's still an esports game. It's still a competitive game. And even the most powerful among them all na power-ups, which is the spiny blue shell na pwede kang tamaan kahit anong gawin mo, which everybody thinks that way, there are actually 10 different ways to name a few na to dodge it. You can actually
Mm,
slow down and let the second player take the hit for you because it will always target the first player. And you can also jump off the cliff when it's about to hit you. So yung slow down mo is much more lenient than
forgiving, right?
yeah
Yeah.
forgiving than actually getting hit by the blue shell. You can
Mm,
also use the mushroom. It gives you a boost like a nitro boost. At this exact same frame that when it's about to hit you and then you're just gonna speed away from the explosion. Yung mga ganun, ang daming factors eh.
right.
And then there's this also the easiest counter, I forgot the name. The speaker, the mega speaker thingy na sa Mario Kart. Kasi hindi ko talaga alam. I'm not good with names. Pero yung red na gold na speaker, if you use it, nagsa-circle around pa lang sa'yo, walang timing kailangan. If you use it, boom, durog yung blue shell before it hits you. So, kumbaga, there's still challenge if you want it. If you, for
Right.
people who wants to be really good at it or to become pros, meaning you want to be competitive in an esport, nandun, merong um, chance to be that kind of person. Maskin mostly targeted naman talaga nga
Yeah.
siya is for casuals.
what I'm getting is that it's kind of like deceptively simple, maybe, because and that's you saying that has made me realize something about Nintendo, sort of, because uh, I don't know if you're familiar with Donkey on YouTube. He's a very popular video game content creator, diba? The way he plays Mario games, like Mario Odyssey, Mario even Mario 64, he likes to sort of take games to their breaking point, and parang, like, you know how a platformer will have you go on a certain path. He'll really try to find a way to jump just right to get a shortcut or something. What you mentioned kasi about intentionally jumping off a cliff so that you negate the hit, diba? That's not a bug or a glitch in any way. It's really just a part of the game, that it's something you can discover. And I feel like Nintendo, at least when it comes to Mario, I guess, maybe does puts that intentionally, so that there's this really like in-depth level of expertise that people can reach. But also, it's something that you'll only get to if you really want to, or you really need that kind of edge over someone, like, let's say, in an esports setting or something.
Yeah, of
That's
course,
really
when you're
interesting.
playing with family, you won't do that, diba? You want to
Exactly.
give them a chance. Like you said, na parang
Yeah.
you know the
Enjoy
game na,
naman.
oo,
Yeah.
pero bakit mo naman dudurugin yung kalaban mo? It's
Exactly.
not that fun.
Right. Okay, so once again, parang there are arguments for both ways on both sides. It's really interesting. But that was a great discussion, guys. I haven't played kart racing games in a while. Maybe I will after this, because lately I've sort of wanted a bit more challenge in games, maybe. And you telling me, Jerry, that there's this parang another level of playing a kart game that you can achieve because of how dynamic the systems can be, is really
Yeah, the
interesting.
mechanics.
SK, yeah, the mechanics. SK with CTR, the ways they've sort of, because kart games with their power ups have kind of been samey for a lot of years now, diba? And what you're telling me about certain power ups that sort of shift the balance in a particular way, while maybe being a bit prohibitive, maybe for your drunk tito, is still interesting. And if that drunk tito happened to stumble into a win in his first try, maybe he'll be interested to try and learn more about the mechanics, even though they may not be as accessible. That was great. That was a lot of fun, actually. I love
Yeah.
all the tangents that we ended up going in due to discussing these two kart games. That was really great. Crash Team Racing, Mario Kart. Even though we all know that the best kart racer is Chocobo Racing, you heard it from me.
Oh, really?
No, it's just that's such a darling for me. Such a gem of my
Chocobo's
The
are
childhood,
so
was
soundtrack
Chocobo
cute.
will
Racing.
certainly be up there. I-
As with a lot of Squaresoft games. Okay, that was a lot of fun, guys. Thank you so much. Let people know where they can find you, what you're up to, Sketchy Jerry.
Okay, Sketchy Jerry is an artist and game content creator. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Yeah, with Sketchy Jerry. Sketchy Jerry Live is for my gaming, and Sketchy Jerry Art, or just plain Sketchy Jerry for my art stuff. Like I said, I'm an artist illustrator who is mostly in conventions. But since there's no conventions, you'll find me online playing games, which I love the most. As much as I love art, is first love pa rin is gaming, because everyone gamed when they were a kid.
That's true. That's true. Okay, SK.
Okay, you guys can find me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. It's facebook.com/Sillykonpeito or just Sillykonpeito. Um, y'all can also hopefully follow my newest blog. So it's The Little Mom Flower. It's about me, my journey to motherhood, but as a gamer also.
Right. Okay, so congratulations again, by the way. I know I mentioned your baby boy, but congratulations again on being a mom. That's amazing. That's really exciting, and I'm sure very frightening, more frightening than any final boss you've ever encountered. Okay, you know what? Since this might be the last one we do for a while, let's make it different. I want to get one game that's about to come out that you guys are just super super excited for, that you guys are really looking forward to? SK, what's one upcoming release that you feel like people should be on the lookout for?
Cyberpunk 2077.
I knew it. I knew someone was gonna say it.
I was about to say that, pero
I knew.
meron akong
I know.
meron akong isang lamang. Meron akong
Okay, good.
Cyberpunk. God,
Yeah,
everyone's
yeah,
waiting for
I'm
that.
super excited for it. Like when I saw it during the trailer, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want it. I want to pre-order it.
Okay. So it's Cyberpunk for SK. What about you, Jerry? Besides Cyberpunk 2077.
Of course, I'm looking forward with Cyberpunk, but the thing is, the game I'm most looking forward to isn't really a new game. Allowed ba yun?
Yeah, of course.
'Cause,
It's the remake of Demon Souls, isn't it?
Yes, you said it. You said it. Come
Same,
on.
man.
The
Dude.
game that started it all. The game that started this Souls-like trend that every game just
Yep.
wanna be Dark Souls.
So, yeah.
And they
I-
forgot it's Demon Souls. It's freaking Demon Souls. Demon
It's
Souls
the OG.
all the way. Yes.
I tend to wait maybe at least siguro 4 or 5 months after a console comes out, because you get it early and then there'll always be a better version that comes out
Yeah,
in the next year, diba?
Yeah,
But
that's true.
Demon Souls is a launch title, so it's like,
Yeah,
what am I
must
gonna
have.
do?
Man, seriously. Well, the thing is with PS4, walang problem with the first version. The thing, it's still working. Yung first version ko, I got the PS4 Pro, pero in the first one I got when it just came out, it's still working. It's fine. No problem. So I'm hoping na ganun din naman sa PS5. Either way,
Fingers
maskin mag-break yun, basta natapos ko na yung Demon Souls, I'll
Demon-
play. Okay?
Spoken like a true gamer.
Yeah, forget any other game. I just wanna play Demon Souls when it comes out, and I wanna be the first one who beats it.
Wow, okay.
Nice.
Lofty
Walang
goals,
mangyari.
lofty goals. Lofty
Pero
goals,
in
man.
my mind, I'll always be the first one, diba?
Right,
Or
right.
at least among friends.
Right. Just like I'll always be top 1 in the parachute mini game in Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
5 in the world. All right, now it's a
Us gamers always want to think that we're the best at anything. we do. Parang I remember this thing na when I used to play StarCraft before. Shit, wala sa lahat ng kilala ko ako pinakamagaling, Brood War ganyan. Then StarCraft 2, okay, shit, diamond rank ako. And then when I joined a freaking tournament, oh my god, I'm getting crushed. What the
Yeah.
hell's happening with me? Parang I thought I was the best, ganon. So yun. Pero syempre, that pushes you forward. Yun nga yung gamer life di ba?
Yep.
Don't
You
have
sometimes
one life.
have that competitive streak talaga when it comes to
Yeah.
gaming.
And we don't die. We respawn. We respawn
Right.
and be the
Yeah.
better
Right.
gamer than what we were last night or yesterday or just a few seconds earlier. We get new XP every time we do things. So yeah. Yun. Just keep on playing, guys.
Yes, sir. You respawn every time unless you're playing Hellblade, which has permadeath, even though I thought it actually did, and I was stressed for the entire time I was playing it. So
Haven't played, pero looking forward nga din dun na magkaroon ako ng copy. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. That was so much fun. Thank you. Good luck on all your streams, all your things. Hopefully, we can all see each other at a convention again very, very soon. For now, this is Unblockable. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, thank you so much, SK and Jerry. What a way to close off this series for now. Fingers crossed. In that setting that we have been describing, where you're at the family reunion or just among friends, what is the most fun? What is more fun to play between Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing? Honestly, it's hard to choose because they're just so similar. Kart racing games are pretty much a standard template at this point. You race, you pick up power-ups. But given the more gamery character of of Crash Team Racing, I think the safer bet is definitely Mario Kart. Even though, like we discussed, Nintendo does tend to shake things up a bit. A new Mario Kart game has you using augmented reality to race across the living room floor, which let's face it, like getting a gamer to agree to try and play a game that way, one gamer to agree and try and play that game that way, is a bit of a challenge, and it's amazing that Nintendo has endured doing that throughout the years. But getting a whole group of people to try and agree to a novelty can be a task. Nonetheless, I feel like Mario Kart still remains the more, let's say, palatable, for lack of a better term, thing for just anyone to jump in and play. Like I described during our interview, I had the pleasure of playing Mario Kart in an arcade in Japan, and I hadn't played Mario Kart for years. And you just pick it up and you race, and it's pretty easy to pick up and understand. So the friendlier character designs, the name Mario, will probably make it the better option for people who just want to jump in and play. If you have a Switch and you're at a group setting, that's I think the optimal way to experience Mario Kart as a group. Most people have PlayStations as opposed to Nintendo consoles at this point. It's pretty much people who really are gamers who have Nintendo stuff, but they're the ones who will end up sharing anyway with people in a group. So I guess in that vein, because of that, Mario Kart definitely is the better option for a group gameplay setting. That is it. Thank you so much for watching our show. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. You can watch episodes of Unblockable on Connect's website, connectpodcast.net, or the YouTube channel at Connect Podcasts, or listen to the audio versions on Spotify, Podbean, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Once again, this is Bibo Reyes. I love video games. They have been keeping me sane so far. If you love video games too, or if you didn't before, I hope you do by now. But if you do, I hope our show has kept you sane so far. You can follow me on Twitter at Bibo Reyes or Instagram at Bibo Las Vegas. You can follow Connect on social media at Connect Podcasts. Once again, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay playing, stay unblockable.